So evening, my lovelies, just beginning on your mat wherever you're most comfortable, either in a seated position, or if you've had a day of it, then lying down and just letting the whole floor and the mat support you. Sometimes sitting is more comfortable for people, so just choosing. And we'll just take a few moments, as always, just to take a deep breath and maybe just sigh that out and decompress from our day, whatever we've been up to, whether it's been busy or busy in the mind. It's always lovely to come to our mat. It's almost like a sacred space, these four corners, where we can shed anything that has happened earlier and just be ourselves. So let's tune into our breath, because this always brings us back to a centre. Feeling the lovely movement of your body as you inhale and the exhale. And as we do this, we might find that there are tight muscles in our shoulders, our upper back, and we can identify what's going on a bit more. Have a moment to ground your energies, root down. This is always a good practice throughout your day anyway, but certainly a lovely way to remind yourself when you're on your mat. So sending those invisible kind of energetic roots into the earth. And as we do this, we connect with nature. Everything pretty much in nature has a root. And we can connect with everything that grows around us. So setting an intention maybe for your practice if you wish, if something just spontaneously comes to mind. Or maybe just saying a lovely affirmation. I am happy and healthy. So just have a few more moments to scan through from head to toe. Is there any tightness in your forehead? In your cheeks and your jaw? And can we relax? Loosening how the shoulders are often held. And maybe thinking about our fingers and our hands and if there's tightness in the wrist. Softening through our back. Checking in with all the major joints and any other parts and muscles all the way down to the feet. So when you're ready, if you're lying down, just draw your knees in gently. And if you're already seated, maybe just, if you'd like to, you can roll your shoulders and tilt the head. And there's no rush, but just taking your time to come up. And we'll have a practice of meditation. So we'll count the breath this evening. Something that we haven't done for a while. We'll count to 4. And then we'll return to a count of 4. So whether it's the inhale or the exhale you prefer to count, and maybe you could try both and see which sort of feels right or more relaxing for you. And we're just going to count to 4 with the breath and then come back to 1 and count again. You might notice that you start going on to 5 and 6, or even further if the mind does wander. Don't worry about it, because it's the nature of the mind. But just try and sort of bring yourself back, and just that sort of repeating the 4 keeps us sort of in a nice little loop of consciousness. So we'll just rest our hands and let our eyelids close, and just have a moment again just to settle. And then we'll begin. So in any way you wish on whichever breath. We'll count to 4. And when you get to 4, just start again. Keep relaxing. And just draw your mind back whenever it wanders. Try and stay with the whole breath. Staying with the count to 4. Maybe just coming to the end of a set of breath of 4. And when you're ready, we can blink our eyes open, coming back into the room. Noticing how that practice felt, whether it was really calming, whether you got bored of counting, or whether actually the counting kept you quite focused in a rhythm. So everyone's different. I quite like that one. All right then, lovelies. So coming off cushions, we're going to come into seal. We're going to start with a back bend this evening. So coming onto bellies, I'm going to use a cushion. It's nice and supportive under the chest and perhaps sort of the lower ribs. And then if you want to block, it's quite nice to pop one there for your forehead. If that suits you, don't have to. It's another way of relaxing around the neck. I take a nice deep breath and starting to relax the legs and the buttocks. You don't have to have your head down at all. If you're more comfortable having the head raised, then just sort of have a nice, comfortable position, gazing ahead with the eyes closed if you wish. So keep just looking through your body. Maybe you're twisting your legs and keeping them tense. Just relaxing as much as you can. Don't worry if the heels roll into centre. And then also trying to relax around the arms and the shoulders. And then breathing to your belly. As you breathe, you may start to really enjoy the breath as it moves up into the chest and the back ribs expanding. Also feeling the lower back expand. Just noticing your thoughts. Where are you in your mind? Keep checking in with your thighs and your buttocks. You never know if a little bit of tension's just crept its way back in. Check in with your shoulders, whether they're creeping up to the ears or whether they're relaxed. And just checking in with anywhere else through your body, maybe your neck and your face. And how does this pose feel this evening? How does your body respond? So we'll just gently take one more breath here. Lifting the head, if you've had the head lowered. And just being gentle when we move our head today, just avoiding any dizziness if possible. And then lifting up and finding our way back into Shavasana. Move slowly, especially if your back feels a little bit tight and tender from being in seal. The lovely thing about yin is, the beauty of just moving slowly and feeling conscious of everything that's going on. And taking a nice long sigh as you relax back to the mat. So where and what do you feel through your body, through your back, the spine, all the muscles? And just taking some lovely deep breaths to encourage that relaxation. And where do you feel coldness and chi moving, or any other temperature? You might find it's sort of upper chest or mid chest and belly. And so when you're ready, let's just draw the knees in. One at a time, nice and slowly, just so that it supports our lower back. And then having a nice rock. So the next pose we're going to come into is turtle, but I am going to offer some variations this evening. Since it is an evening practice, it's quite nice to make it even a bit more restorative. So if you have a bolster, so turtle is child's pose. So we come down like this, but I can offer you maybe using a block for the head so that the head doesn't come too low. It is quite a compression still, or if you'd like to make it really sort of just comfortable this evening, grab a bolster and maybe just rest here, and then the head won't come down as low. It's more in line with your body. And so I think I'm going to choose this one this evening. It's I feel drawn to it. A bit softer. Just turning your head one way and maybe then the other halfway through. And you can feel that sort of gentle curve in the opposite direction of your back. Relaxing your hands. And just being gentle with your knees as well and your hips. If you need to shift and alter, please do. So even in this gentle pose, can you relax your shoulders and your upper back? This is a lovely pose for your stomach meridian that runs in line with your shins. If you want to turn your head to the other side, if you're on a bolster, then about halfway. Relax into your belly. Trying to relax into the legs. How does your body feel in this pose this evening? Still breathing deeply and enjoying the movement in your body. Just see if there's anything else you can relax as we come towards the end here. And just taking one more breath. Slowly lifting the head. Have a moment once you've come up just to acclimatise and then lying down. You can keep your bolster handy if you want to, and a block. The next pose we're going to come into is supported bridge. So you could use either, depending on whether you want to make it nice, a bit softer this evening. So just let's have a moment as we lie down. As we come out of that compression in the legs, there's going to be a lovely tingliness that you'll feel on the tops of your feet, across your shins, perhaps the inner thighs where we come into the liver and the kidney meridian. And that does really enhance the stomach and the spleen, which are connected. So not only do we get that lovely sort of fresh energy, it's the compression and now the blood flowing through our body. It's a nice stretch for our knees and our lower back. Sometimes that pose can feel nice and nurturing and safe. Very similar to the first pose we ever took in the womb. So just noticing everything fading now. And then we'll hug the knees in. Again, gently, just observing anything you need to be careful of tonight. And so we're going to come into supported bridge. If all you have is a block, then you can have it on the top height or turning it sideways onto the second height. You choose. If you've still got a nice yoga bolster handy, then that can be something that you bring under the body too. So beginning perhaps on a block, you might find that you want to change. But if you're coming onto the block, and the same if you're coming onto the bolster, we're going to bring the feet to the buttocks, lift up nice and slowly. And if you are using your block, this is more important to not encroach on your lumbar vertebrae, to have it on that flat part of the sacrum. With the bolster, you'll know where to place it, and it's a bit more comfortable. You might be slightly lower on the bolster because it's softer, so just choosing. When you're in this pose, try and keep your neck straight, and then just beginning to relax buttocks and thighs. If the top height is too much and you want to turn it a bit lower, then please do. And then also just keep returning to your shoulders and the neck area, because you'll sometimes find your shoulders creep up to the ears. So relax the buttocks if you've just noticed again that they've tensed up. Lovely one for your heart and your throat chakra. So keep looking through your body, just rotate your awareness always as much as you can, and relaxing. Following your thoughts. We're so unconscious most of the day. We run on our subconscious mind, which is virtually 90%, 95%, they say. We're on autopilot with many of the tasks we undertake. And so this time on our mat, where we can be fully conscious in that 5%, totally in tune with everything we're feeling. Following your breath, mind, body, breath. Just keep relaxing anything you find tense. Just returning to the buttocks, the upper arms and shoulders. Softening your face. And then gently, let's take a breath. And very slowly, we're going to come onto the toes, gently lifting our way from the block and coming down in your own time. And really enjoying how that feels. Although that pose is wonderful for your throat and your heart, it's also lovely for your root and your sacral and your solar plexus too, the lower three more physical chakras. And so just following what you feel where you feel it. The throat is very linked with our communication and what we say. So it's always interesting when you come out of these poses to notice what your internal dialogue is as well. As even though we're not speaking outwardly, has our internal dialogue and communication with ourselves changed? And as a result of working into the heart space as well, just an observation for yourself whether there's a subtle shift in how you speak to yourself inwardly. So we'll draw our knees in. We're going to come into banana next. We've sort of come flexed into the spine with those poses. So we'll come into a side stretch, a nice lateral stretch into the body. But take a few moments to just massage your back here. And even though banana, we only move a few inches top and bottom with the body, be very gentle if you don't want to stretch too much, especially around that hip area. So join me with your feet on the mat. And then we'll come into the left side stretch. So draw your feet to the lower right corner. And then bring your right foot over your left. Relax through your buttocks and then just gently shuffle your upper body to the top right. And depending on how you feel in your body, one side you might be able to go into more deeply and the other side may have to be a lot softer to support anything that's going on. So choose yourself if you want to take your arms overhead or into cactus arms. That's sometimes a lovely stretch across the chest. Or if you're quite happy with your hands down by your sides. Trying to relax, certainly the sides of the waist, your lower back and your buttocks. And then when you feel relaxed, just draw your awareness to your breath. As you breathe, you'll feel like your body kind of moves like a fan, how it opens up a lot more into the left side and your left lung. Keep relaxing around the waist and lower back. And this is lovely for gallbladder and liver, which are the organs connected with spring, this season we're in at the moment, and the element wood. Notice if your breath is deep or shallow. Every now and then just checking in with your upper back and whether there's any slight tension in any of the muscles in through your back. Maybe you're noticing your breath is really calm and a lot deeper now. And then gently we'll just take one more breath here. And in your own time, uncrossing your feet, just returning your legs back to neutral spine and shoulders. And if it feels nice for you, maybe just rock the pelvis and then wag your tail a few times and just find that comfortable neutral spine to settle in for a few moments. Relaxing the back. And then what do you feel? Where do you feel it? Perhaps there's tingling on the inner thighs, the left inner thigh, possibly the right. A nice feeling of spaciousness in your left side of your body. Either feminine side, our intuitive side. And then if you want to, maybe just draw the knees in for a breath or two before we come to the other side. It's nice to just hug in, release any tightness we might feel in the back, and just coming to the left side with sort of a fresh sensation. So stretching your legs out again, and then feet to the lower left corner, left foot over the right. Release through the buttocks and back, and then shoulders top left. Again, choosing, if you had your arms overhead before, you can do the same, or just leaving them by your side, whatever feels right. And if this side is a side that aggravates round the hip, don't move into it much at all. Perhaps just take the legs to the one side, keep the body in alignment. So make the adjustments as to how it feels best for you. Nice deep breath, long sigh. And as everything relaxes, we can tune into the breath. Is this in any way different from the other side? What do you notice? Keep checking through your body. There's always another bit of tension you can relax. Maybe the neck or the head and face. And how do you feel at this moment in time? Relaxed, balanced. Perhaps the mind feels very clear. like there are thoughts, but they're just really just light, fluffy thoughts, nothing that really grabs your attention. Notice what other emotions layer on. Perhaps there's a feeling of joy, contentment, stillness. Maybe this, when you're in your mat, it's a time when you just truly feel like you. No other labels. Try and stay just following the breath, being completely at one in this moment. And then gently we'll just take one more breath here. Slowly returning to Shavasana, neutral spine. And again, just altering, rocking the body a few times to let everything come back into place. Let's just have a few breaths here. Feel what you feel, perhaps coldness on the right inner thigh. A lovely sort of spacious tingling through the right side of your body. Nice gentle stretch through the waist. Maybe you notice some chilly coldness around the knees. When you start looking, you might find that it extends down the inner calf muscles. And then when we're ready, we'll draw the knees in, another little hug. So we're going to come into bench. Nice soft pose to end with. As you roll up, getting hold of your little cushion or a pillow, anything that's just soft, that takes ourselves back. So earlier we were working more aimed at the lumbar vertebrae, lumbar spine. But this pose is a nice one for thoracic. So taking that cushion a few inches away from you, and then we lie down. If you need a little block, you might, sometimes I need a block for my head, other times I don't, which is always strange because you never entirely know why the neck will need support one time and then not the other. Actually, I do. If your throat chakra is out of balance, it may well be that you need support. Okay. So this is a really nice one for the upper back. And just enjoying feeling supported. The lower chakras, when we work with them, and they will feel like support more for financial, monetary things, physical parts of life. And then when we work into the heart and throat, the more spiritual centres, there is an element of feeling more supported in an emotional sense. Following your breath, how it feels to breathe. Movement to belly and up into the chest. You might notice now the breath is really lovely in a nice slow, deep pace. And this comes with that deep relaxation of your nervous system, coming back into regulation. Our nervous system can become so dysregulated in our day-to-day life. So just finding stillness can bring homeostasis. So just gently we'll take one more breath here. Slowly lifting the head. And then your body, just enough to pull the cushion and anything else away. Come back down to the mat for a few breaths. And just to feel. How is it just to be here? We're always doing things. But it's very rare we're just being. And then we'll come into relaxation now. So either staying where you are, lying down, putting a blanket over. If you want to come to seated, again, your choice, whatever feels better for you. And depending if you're warm enough or not, maybe pulling a blanket over. When you lie down for a little while, so you do cool a little. And sometimes it's just lovely to have some fabric around you, so a little blanket. I think I'll take a little card today. Feel drawn to them. Messages from your angels. It's always lovely just to see if something comes out. that resonates with us, that we're just meant to hear, and it means something personal to you. So let's spread them out and take one with my eyes closed. Sometimes we get the same ones every now and then, but it doesn't matter, because it's just reminders that maybe we're on the right track, or that there is just that extra support from somewhere unknown. And it reminds us that it's there. So this evening I've pulled Omega, and this card says victory. Your desire is coming to fruition. Keep up the good work. Congratulations, you have chosen to follow your divine guidance, and the universe is following in natural rhythm with your decision. When you listen to the messages that your heart whispers, you swim in natural synchronicity with the ride of your life's purpose. Stay relaxed and confident, and keep moving forward with happiness and grace. If along the way you notice problems occurring, then it's time to stop and center yourself. When problems occur, it simply means that you're temporarily out of sync with the universe rhythms. There's no need for analysis or shame when this occurs. Simply pray or meditate, breathe deeply, and wait until you feel strongly about the next move. Your victory is inevitable in this situation, so don't worry that temporary problems will thwart your desire. Whatever happens is supposed to happen, and when it happens is the correct time. Release your doubts to heaven and rest assured that a happy outcome is yours. There is one line in there that is lovely to remember. Whatever happens is supposed to happen, and when it happens is the correct time. What will be, will be. A lovely reminder. So just having a few moments of stillness and quietness, just to think about if there is something that resonates with you, that you're on a path. Sometimes we're unsure, but actually we do know deep down when we're doing the right thing. So very gently. Notice how you are in this very moment. Your breathing, the pace of your heart, thoughts and feelings. And it's just nice to compare maybe with how you felt earlier today or before your practice and how you feel now. What your yoga does for you. So very gently now, maybe just start to slowly move fingers and toes. And if you're seated, you could roll the shoulders, rock the head. If you're lying down, maybe a full body stretch. And gently hugging the knees in when you're ready. And in your own time, you can roll up to seated. Take your time. It's nice not to rush, just to keep the lovely slow yin energy flowing a little bit more. And then when you're ready, we can just bring our hands to heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.